Hi, everybody. My name's Liz, and I'm going to read you a story today. And this story is called The Drums of Noto Hanto. And do you see the cover here? Do you think this story takes place in Georgia? Do you think it's in Georgia, this story, or someplace else? Okay, I'm trying to see everybody. If you think this place takes place in Georgia, raise your hand. Okay, if you think it takes place someplace else, raise your hand. Yes, that's right. It takes place somewhere else. And where do you think that other place is? It's Japan. Yes, this story takes place in Japan. Do you think it was recently or a long time ago? What do you think? You think it took place last week or many, many years ago? Yeah, it took many, many years ago in Japan. And right here, what is this a picture of? Is it a banana?
Taiko.
It's a taiko. It's an old drum. Yeah, it's a Japanese drum. This kind of drum is used in Japan, and somebody just said the name of it. It's called a taiko. And guess how they make these drums? They take a tree, a big old tree, and they cut it down, and then they make a hole in the middle of the tree trunk, and then they put a skin over it, and they fasten it with little nails all the way around. So that's what this drum is. But you don't have to make a drum out of a tree. You can make a drum out of just about anything. And I know that some of you guys made drums to help me tell the story today, right? Did you make a drum today? I'm going to use this box for my drum. You know, even a box can be a drum. And I'm going to use these cardboard tubes as drumsticks. Okay, what about you? Did you make a drum for today? Show me your drum. Anybody? Oh, somebody has a little bowl of dog food. It looks like a dog food bowl. And somebody has, oh, what have you got there, Jamie? Okay, Grant has something. Allison has something. Kaito, looks like you have some actual real drumsticks. But listen, if you don't have anything, if you didn't bring something, you can still, there's still time to go get something right now. Just go in your kitchen and get a couple of big spoons, or you can just even use your hands if you want to. You can just hit on your hand, on your lap. But let's practice playing our drums now. Everybody ready? Play. Hey. All right, good. I see that I have some good helpers today. Okay. And so let me ask you another question about drums. Do you think that drums are scary? Anybody, raise your hand if you think drums are scary. No, yeah, only a couple people. Yeah, I don't think drums are really scary, but they can be scary if they're really big and they make a big, big sound. Boom, boom, boom. That can be scary, right? So in this story, they are kind of scary. They sound like thunder. Okay, and then in this story, there's some other drums that are small. Some are really big and some are small. And some of them make this sound. Don, 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 don. Do you think those are big drums or little drums? Don. Do you think they're big? Make it big if you think they're big, or little if you think they're little. Don, 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 don. Are those big drums or little? Yeah, those are the big drums. And what sound do you think the little drums make? Okay, in the story, they make this sound. Tiki, 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 tiki. That's how the little drums sound. Tiki, 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 tiki. Okay, so let's practice playing the little drums. Tiki, 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 tiki. And the big drums. Boom, boom, don, 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 don. Okay, and then there are drums in the middle, too. Okay, so the other thing in this story is masks. You know what a mask is? There's a lot of different kinds of masks, right? Like, this is the mask I've been wearing lately. Do you know why I'm wearing this mask? This mask is not very fun, but it's to keep me, to keep germs from going from me to other people and other people to me, right? Do you have a mask like this? Yes, okay, some of you do. Okay, but that's not the kind of mask in this story. Okay, the mask in this story is a scary mask. And why do you think, oh my gosh, someone has a really scary mask. Why would you want to scare somebody with a mask?
Like one of these.
Can you think of a reason that you might want to scare somebody? Like maybe Halloween. On Halloween, people like to scare each other, right? But I don't think they had Halloween back in Japan back then. So let's think of another reason that they might want to scare people. Well, in this story, some people wanted to scare away some other people that they thought were going to hurt them. So they were trying to make them think they were monsters. So let me see your mask. This is my mask. Ah! Let me see your scary mask. Did you make one?
Just me mask.
Let me see. Ooh, Junko Stone. That's a cool one. All right. Jamie, Izzy. All right. Bill, Shannon. Wow, great. These are wonderful. Good job, everybody. Okay. So when we get to the part in the story where everybody puts on their mask, I want you to put yours on, okay? And I'll remind you in the story and you'll see a little picture, but you don't have to put it on yet. Okay? Okay, let me see. And then when I say play the drums, you're going to see this little picture of a drum there. See that little picture? So when you see that picture, you're going to start drumming. Okay? So let's practice real quick. Hold on. Let's practice, everybody. Ready, get set, put on your mask. Okay, ready, get set. When I say play the drums, play the drum. Ready? Play the drums. All right, is everybody ready? You ready to read the story now? Okay, so here we go. We're going to read. Go ahead, Mariko. We're going to read The Drums of Noto Hanto by Allison James, and the illustrations were by Tsukushi. Noto Hanto points upward like a thumb into the sea of Japan. Even its rocks are wild, carved by the waves and great winds of typhoons. Today, people still live there, where their ancestors cut rice fields from the steep sides of the hills. Their lives are much the same as they have been for centuries, planting rice, catching fish, and at the change of each season, the playing of drums. The drums of Noto Hanto. For the full moon of autumn, they play the drums. Don kara, don kara, don, don, don. For the first snow of winter, they play the drums. Tiki, 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 tik. For the cherry blossoms of spring. Podo pada, podo pada, podo pada, po. For the fireflies of summer. Koto, 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 ko. And at Obon, the harvest time, they dance for the ghosts of their ancestors and play on the drums. Tiki, 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 ton, ton, ton. Podo pada, koto, koto, ko. Don kara, don, don, don. Many, many years ago, a powerful warlord named Kenshin threatened the people of Nabune village. It was known throughout Japan as the wealthiest village on the coast. The people there had the most delicious rice, the best fishing, and the best mountain vegetables. Kenshin wanted their rice crop in taxes. He wanted to taste their fish. He wanted their fathers and young men for soldiers. One day, after the rice had been harvested, a messenger rode over the hills and into the village. He had news. He said the samurai were coming by sea and would attack from the bay. Frantically, the villagers collected what weapons they had. But these were only farmer's tools, a hunter's spear, a fisherman's harpoon. What use could they be against the swords of the warriors? We can never outfight the samurai, one man said. All is lost, cried a woman. But then their village elder spoke. Go get the drums. If we cannot fight them, perhaps we can trick them. The children scattered one way, their parents another. They brought all the drums down to the beach. Small, high-voiced drums and sharp metal bells. Don, 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 tiki, tiki, tick. Middle-sized drums that shook the leaves on the trees. Podo pada, koto, koto, ko. Large drums that boomed like thunder. Don, kara, don, 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 don. And then they brought the great Taiko, a drum so huge that 8 men could play it at the same time. When that drum was pounded, it sounded like a mountain exploding. Don, 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 don. The villagers hid the drums and piled up wood for fires. Suddenly, someone shrieked with fear. Yeah! Emerging from the woods were wild monsters with wide blank eyes and long green hair and skin covered with welts. The monsters came screaming down onto the beach. The people shrieked with fear, but it was only the children wearing masks they had made from bark and seaweed. The old man said, "Ah, children, you have fooled even us. People, take heart. With our drums, the fires, and now these hideous monster masks, the terrible samurai will melt with fear." The villagers scattered again. Some went into the woods and sliced off great pieces of tree bark. Some ran down along the shore and picked up tangles of stringy seaweed. Some gathered handfuls of white hair from the tail of the messenger's horse. Swiftly they made terrifying masks. As the sun sank into the sea, 4 huge ships rounded the cliff into the bay. Their sides were stuck with oars. On their decks, 1,000 swords flashed red. The villagers stood awestruck on the beach. Then someone took courage and, running, lit the fires. The sharp metal bell called the drummers to play. Tiki, 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 tick. The children and then everyone covered their faces with the masks. Okay, everybody, put your mask on now. This is the part where you have to help me put on your mask. And get your drums ready. Then they began to play the drums. Don da don da don, don ba don ba don ba don. Already the fires were spitting flames. Louder and louder the villagers pounded the drums. Don karakaka, don karaka, don 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 don. The ships slowed on the darkening water. A rain of arrows came, but the drums roared an answer. Don da don da don. The lights of the fires lit the waves. Don tonga don tonga don don don. Tiki 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 tick. The gruesome monsters danced. Don 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 don. Kada 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 don. All night the villagers drummed. The sound pounded like blood in the ears of the samurai. All night the ships sat on the sea, but they came no closer, even as the sun rose. For on the beach, hideous monsters loomed from the mists of the sea. As the drums boomed, the monsters came shouting down into the water, shaking with fury. And behind them, the great Taiko sounded so loud and low that the ocean itself seemed to tremble. Don, 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 don. Don, tonga, don, tonga, don, don, don. Back, came the call from one of the ships, and the oars sliced the water like swords. The villagers waited until the mist cleared and the birds could be heard over the echo of the drums. They waited and watched as the samurai ships faded in the distance, never to return. Since the year 1576, people of Noto Hanto have celebrated their ancestors' victory over the samurai. In a festival each summer, they play the drums and wear masks of bark and seaweed. The masks are frightening, but it is the beat of the drum that stalls the beat of the heart. Okay, get ready to help me drum one more time. Tiki 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 don ton ton. Podo pada koto koto ko. Don kara don don don. Don 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 da don don ba don ba don. And that is the end of our story. Yay! Thank you everybody for helping me. I couldn't see you all during the story, but you were helping me drum, right? And I'm sure we helped scare away those scary samurai, right? Okay, so now stay tuned. We're not quite finished yet. We're going to talk a little bit more about this area of Japan and the drums, and then we're going to talk to the lady who wrote this book. She's with us here today. She's going to talk to us for a minute, and then we're going to watch a video and all kinds of stuff. So don't leave just yet, okay? I'm going to hand it over to my friend Mariko now.
Thank you, Miss Liz. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Now that we shared the story, we are going to talk more about Japan, Japanese folk tales, Noto Hanto, samurai, and Japanese drums. My name is Mariko with Japan American Society of Georgia. I am going to talk about these. So first, where is Japan? The green arrow shows Georgia. Do you know where Japan is? Can you point it? Here is Japan. Japan is about as big as the state of California. It's not a big country, but it's one of the most crowded countries in the world. It's made up of 4 main islands. Each of them is surrounded by the ocean. Have you ever read books of Japanese folk tales? Japanese folk tales are called Mukashi-Banashi. There are a few hundred stories that are considered standard Japanese folk tales. These are short stories that Japanese kids grow up listening to and get passed on from one generation to the next. The short stories and folk tales always try to teach the importance of patience, honesty, hard work, and so on. Next, from Chicago, Asami is going to talk about Noto Hanto and samurai. Asami?
Thank you, Mariko. So I'm Asami. Hello, everyone. I'm joining from Chicago, and I would like to talk about Noto Hanto and the samurai. So this story is in Noto Hanto, and Noto is the name of the place, and Hanto means a peninsula in Japanese. So Noto Hanto means Noto Peninsula. So do you know what the peninsula is? Is the different from island or the same? So it's different. The peninsula is surrounded by water on three sides, but island is surrounded by water for 4 sides. Also, the samurai is a kind of Japanese warrior. So this is map of Japan. Can you guess where Noto Hanto is? So you can see the red circle. This is Noto Hanto. So it sticks out like a thumb into the sea of Japan. The people in the story were being attacked by ships coming along peninsula. In Noto Hanto, people have formed lies for centuries. Here lies terraces spreading along the coastline, just like in the story. Also, this picture shows the same fishing industry on Noto Hanto, just like in the story as well. So this is the picture of samurai, Japanese warriors. There were a lot of samurais all over Japan until 150 years ago. They wore armor and they were always prepared for the war. In the story, they were attacking the village by ship. So next, from Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, Natsuo is going to explain about Japanese drums. Natsuo-san.
And let me talk about Taiko Japanese drum. Taiko means drum in Japanese. People have been playing taiko drums for more than 1500 years. Taiko has a long history in Japan. Taiko was used for many reasons. One purpose was to motivate samurai troops in warfare. Taiko is also played at religious ceremonies even today. Taiko drums have also been important at festivals all over Japan. Even today, you can hear taiko at festivals. People have special dances for the taiko music. In Noto Hanto today, they have a festival every summer where people wear masks and play drums to remember the story you just heard. Let me show you more pictures of festival in Noto Hanto. And actually, I am a member of Taiko group. I love performing taiko at local festivals here in the US. Taiko make a lot of different sounds depending on the shape and the size of drums. Do you remember the sounds from the story? The big taiko drums make big, strong sound like don, don, don. The drummers also hit the side of the drum, which makes the sound kada, kada, kada. So together, this makes the sounds don, kada, don, kada. And then the smaller taiko drums make light and fun sounds like tick, 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 and ton, ton, ton. There are more sounds, podo, 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 or koto, 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 maybe more. You heard those sounds in the story today. What kind of sound does your drum make? Okay, now back to Liz.
Okay, hi everybody. Okay, so that was super interesting. All right, we're gonna try to talk a little bit, like some questions and answers. Do you guys have any questions or anything you wonder about the story? I have some, I wanted to know, do you think it has a happy ending? And also, why do you think the people made those masks? Why did they do that? Why did they want the people to be scared? So I want you to think about it for a minute, but in the meantime, I have another question that maybe some of you are wondering too. Is this a true story? Did this really happen? And we are so lucky today because the lady who wrote this book, Allison James, is joining us here today. Wasn't that nice of her to come? So let's see if she can tell us whether it was a true story, and then maybe if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask her, you can ask too. Okay, so.
Hi, everybody. I'm Allison. Liz, I'm wondering if you can turn off the back screen so we can see the kids again. Is that an easy thing to do? There. Hi, I love your masks. And I wanted to say to you guys who just did the presentations. That was fantastic. I moved to tears. That was so beautiful. All the drum sounds and the pictures of people on Noto Hanto. So what do you think? Is this an imaginary story or a true story? I write books about dragons and I write books about elves. I think Bonnie has an idea. It's like, do you think it's, Bonnie, do you think it's imaginary or true?
So tell her.
Bonnie D'Amoto, what do you think?
I think it's true, and my name isn't really Bonnie. That's just my mom's
That's
name.
your mom's name who's showing up because you're using her account. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Hi.
Hi. So you think it's really true? Yeah, I think so too. Do you know why? Because we saw those pictures of people who are still doing the drumming on Noto Hanto Coast, right? Yeah. And when I was researching the book, I went to the Noto Hanto Coast, like those pictures that you just said, and I met those drummers. I met the people who are the descendants of people who used to live there and fought away the samurai warriors when they were being attacked. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that somebody could use beautiful masks and beautiful music and use art to win a war, really. Who's ever heard of art winning a war? And they did it.
Yay. So do you guys have any questions for Miss Allison? Do you want to ask her anything, or you want to tell her anything about the story? Raise your hand if you have something to say, and then Mr. D'Amoto can unmute your microphone.
Is your name Izzy? Or is that your mother's name?
Izzy, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
What did they do after the party? What did they do after the party?
Oh, you know what? I think that they went on to live their lives. Like, you know how we're involved in a situation right now where everybody has to stay inside and keep distance from people. But when this is all over, we're going to go back to school and go back and do our regular lives. I think people have stories and then they have regular lives in between their stories.
I bet they were really tired too. I bet they went to sleep.
Because they stayed up all night long.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question? It's hard to see everybody at once.
Some people don't have video on.
Yeah.
You guys, I want to show you something. Did you guys get this mask to print out?
Yeah. I mean, some people.
Some of you did. I just wanted to tell you who the artist is who made this mask. It's the same artist as the woman who made the pictures in the book. Her name is Tsukushi, and she's Japanese. And she did all the illustrations in the book using a special kind of art called cut paper art, which is really amazing. I don't know, if you look at the book really carefully, one of my favorite cut paper illustrations is the one with the ships. Where are you, ships? I'm sure it's here somewhere. Look at that. Can you see all the teeny tiny pieces of paper? Like all the swords were a teeny piece of paper, and all the samurai uniforms made of all kinds of different teeny pieces of paper that she had to glue together and make into cut paper artwork. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, they're really beautiful. So that mask that you have was drawn by the same lady that made the art for the book.
So everybody owns a piece of her original artwork now.
Cool. Okay, anybody else have a question? Okay, I have a question for you. Did you want to say
go
something?
ahead.
Okay, here's my mask. You can see my mask, right? And I used green yarn. It kind of looks black, but actually it's green. So my question is, why do you think I used green yarn? Oh, I see. Okay, somebody there. Sparkles and Ra. I don't know what your name is, but Yoshi, you can pick somebody to answer.
Okay, Sparkles. with a smiley face. What do you think?
Because it's seaweed and seaweed is usually green.
Yes, it was supposed to be seaweed. You nailed it. Good stuff. Great. Okay.
So I have a question for Allison. So Allison, so why did you write the book, and tell us the kind of the story behind the story?
Sure. So I live in Burlington, Vermont, you guys, which is almost on the Canadian border, and we have a fantastic Taiko group here. And I went to one of their performances at the big theater, and they performed a piece called Gojinjo Daiko, which is the name of the title of the piece. That's the Noto Hanto piece. And I read in the program notes the story, and then the next year, my family moved to Japan, and we taught there for a year. Our daughter was 6 years old, and she went to Hoikuen and Ichinensei, and my husband and I taught in the schools. And while we were there, I went to Noto Hanto because I really wanted to write the book. My job already was being a children's book author, and I really wanted to share the story with children because I thought it said something particularly special, not only about the culture of Japan, but about a piece of wisdom that everybody in the world could learn from.
Yeah, you don't have to fight necessarily, right? There are other ways. Okay, and I think we're going to show, okay, you guys, I wanted to tell you, Miss Allison was just talking about the performance where they actually do that on the beach. Gojingo, what is it called, Allison?
Gojinjo Daiko.
Gojinjo Daiko. And we were going to show that to you, but I thought it was too scary. I was too scared. So yeah, it was kind of scary. So, but if you are interested in seeing it, you can find it. Maybe we can send the link out later, Yoshi, right? But we do have another video of some taiko that we want to show you, right? Should we move to that? Okay. So please watch this. You can see the small ones, the big ones, and you can hear all the different sounds and the way that they move. So it's not just hitting the drums, it's almost like dancing. I'm just gonna watch this. You can drum along. That's a kana kana. Whoa, isn't it? So do you think it's scary, that sound? It's kind of, if you're ever there and you get to see it, it's really cool. And if you ever get the chance to play, Natsuyo, am I right? It's a great workout. It's your arms, it's your legs, it's your whole body. It's so much fun. Okay, so are there any other questions before we wrap up? Anybody
I have
else?
something.
Yeah, okay, Allison, go.
First of all, I want to say, Junpei, I like your drumsticks and you're doing a really good job drumming. Junpei, can you hear that I'm talking to you?
Hmm?
You're doing a really good job. I'm so impressed. You got the name? And everybody, has nothing to do with taiko drumming and nothing to do with Japan, but I have 1.5-week-old puppies at my house. Would anybody like to see them?
Sure.
Can you see
Aww.
Oh, too cute.
them? Excuse me. It's just too much fun.
Thank you for showing us.
Anytime.
Okay, so any other last questions? Looks like Sparkles has a question. Another question.
All right, go ahead. Sparkles.
As for Allison, when
Uh-huh.
were you able to hear the drums, like them playing the drums at the beach?
When I was there, it was not the time when they had their festival. It was more like February or March, so it was too cold for them to be at the beach. I'm in a theater,
Mhm.
and then I was able to interview them personally, which was really cool.
And how did you meet the lady that did the pictures?
Oh, that was so in children's publishing. The author gives the publisher the words, and then the publisher finds the picture, the illustrator. And the publisher had just seen a portfolio of Tsukushi's when he got my text, and he was like, I have the perfect combination, and it really was. And it ended up being the only book she did, but it was a fantastic book for her to do.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, anybody else have a question? Okay, let's all put our masks on one more time, and we're going to get Yoshi to close us up here. Blah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you to Miss Allison for joining us all the way from
Yes.
and telling us all the great things about the drums of Noto Hanto and the story behind the story, too. But I encourage every one of you to either go to Japan or go to a local Japanese festival. Of course, we have Japan Fest in Atlanta, but there's also that Natsuo-san does in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. There's a lot of Japanese festivals here in the United States, so I encourage everyone to go to festivals that represent Japan and see a real-life taiko drum performance. And some cities have taiko drum classes too, so definitely I encourage everyone to join the classes and kind of learn more about Japan and Japanese taiko. But thank you again for joining us. And then we want to actually do this in person too. So once things are safe for us to kind of go out into the schools, into the community organizations, we'll be visiting the schools and different organizations to hopefully do this in real life person. Bring some type of drums so everyone can try it out too. So,
And Yoshi, we're also going to send out an email with some links to some videos that you guys can watch and a quiz just for fun, just to see if you remember everything about the story, right? So please look out for an email in the next couple days with a little quiz, a fun quiz you can take.
That's right. So take the quiz and then you can kind of see how you do and how well you listen to the story too. So join us again. We'll be doing a lot of these different kinds of cultural activities, and I hope everyone has a great Kodomo no Hi or great Children's Day. And then for all the adults, happy Cinco de Mayo too, right? So enjoy, and then we will see you all again very soon. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye,
Arigatou
everybody.
gozaimashita.
Bye, everybody.
Arigato.
Arigato.
Arigato ne.